Welcome back to Metropole Television. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage, and as spoken about this morning at the introduction of our show, we are going to speak about financial wellness. Now, financial wellness is generally defined as the process of learning how to successfully manage financial expenses as money impacts the kind of lives we live and businesses we get into. Now, while the underlying concept of financial wellness is financial security, there are factors like having access to financial services and other benefits that count in financial wellness. Now, to help paint a picture of what financial wellness is from a personal level to business level, we are joined by Sheila Bogam, who's the founder Financial Wellness Center. Sheila, good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. Simba. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Happy to have you around. So let's get into the gist of the conversation this morning, Sheila. The first question for you is how can we properly understand what financial wellness is, both from a business and personal perspective? And what should come first? Is it personal wellness before financial wellness in business? Just help us clear that.
Thank you so much for your great question, Mr. Simba. Financial wellness cuts across the personal and business side, and definitely it's very important to start with the personal financial wellness, then move on to business financial wellness. So personal financial wellness basically means being able to manage your economic life through things like budgeting, investing, saving, and having access to tools and information that can help you make proper financial decisions. So that is from a personal perspective. But when it comes to a business perspective, financial wellness means that a business or a company is able to operate within its budget. It's able to keep its profit and loss records through bookkeeping. It's able to manage its debts and also its assets. And at the same time, the business is able to achieve its long-term and short-term financial goals without having to strain itself too much. And to wrap it up, for a business side, financial wellness also means being able to take care of its employees' financial health. So when it comes to business, we input both the business side of it, including the employees, but for personal, it's for an individual and being able to, manage your finances accordingly.
Pretty much, Sheila. You mentioned something that people really have to know as well. I mean, you're talking about financial wellness. You're also talking about financial health. So let's begin from a very personal level, Sheila, this morning. Is financial wellness something that must be taught, or is something that can be inborn?
Financial wellness is not inborn. It's something that is taught. That is why we have financial literacy.
Yes.
And what is important to note, unfortunately, financial literacy is not taught in schools. You can agree with me. We have a lot of graduates who have a bachelor's in finance, but they are not financially literate. And because of this, we find a lot of most people who will tell you, I did finance in school, they are messing up in their management of finances. That is why we have businesses that are wallowing or they're going down because they lack the aspect or the knowledge on financial wellness. So it is not something inborn, it's something you acquire, and you have to be intentional about it, because it's not in our schools. That's why we have organizations like Financial Wellness Center to help you on that.
Pretty much, therefore. Sheila, paint a picture for me. This morning we're talking about leveraging on a digital to achieve your financial health and wellness. I mean, is it a new concept under financial wellness? And how do you leverage on digital as a business and as a person to achieve your financial wellness?
Yes, it's a new concept because it includes financial education and paints the need for people to understand their behavior towards money. So as a business, most businesses need to leverage digitization through things like access and mobility of financial services. For example, 20 years ago, you could not be able to do a lot of transactions if you didn't have a bank account. But right now we have mobile phones that are helping people to access finances, do payments, access credit just with a mobile phone. At the same time, we have applications that are helping businesses to track the spending and the business expenses, such as QuickBooks, Sage. These are things that were not there before. In the 90s, they were using manual ledger books, but now it's a system that it is interconnecting. You might find one business is in Kenya, the other one is in South Africa, but they are using one system to manage the business expenses. So digitization is very important, both at a personal level. It makes it accessibility to financial services, while at the same time for businesses, it allows for businesses to easily do bookkeeping.
Pretty much. Sheila, when we're talking about leveraging on a digital, I want to talk about the personal level. What are the specific digital mechanisms that I can use as a person to say, well, I am financially healthy? Let's talk about managing your finances. What are they that are open to me that if I come to your financial wellness center today, Sheila, you'll be telling me I need to have this, and this before you even get into telling you exactly how you're supposed to leverage on them?
That is a great question, Mr. Simba. The first thing, you need to have a tool that is helping you track income. It's mostly, we usually recommend use an application. There's an application called Mint. There are quite a number of applications that help you to do that. Why insist on that? When you are able to track spending and income, you are basically able to now create a on your own. So we come to me for consultants first.
Yes.
Spending.
Sheila, I'm sorry, we seem to be losing you this morning in the studio. We're just trying to make sure that we have that established, because that's something very important. I want you to come clearly as it can. Can you go back and start that point on exactly I would say the digital mechanisms and I need to have first to help me understand I'm supposed to stay financially healthy? Should I walk into Financial Wellness Center? What are these ones you're going to tell me? Okay, Simba, let's start with this as we go on in this journey.
Sure. The first thing you need to have is a budgeting tool, or a tool that is able to help you track your spending and your income. The second one is having a tool that will allow you to save. We have a number of digital platforms that can allow, and specifically we do have the M-Shwari Lock Saving. That is already a digital platform that will help you be focused on saving. Then the next one is an investment tool. After you've saved, because there is a difference between saving and investing. So after you've saved your money, the next thing we need to know is, do you have an application that is helping you make sound investment decisions? So once you have those three things, then we can begin your financial wellness journey easily. So first, we need to get you a platform or an application that can help you track your spending and income, then budgeting, then saving tool, then investment tool. Then from there, we can, walk you the journey easily.
Pretty much. I'm going to come on exactly what a good, I would say, financial wellness program will look like for me to actually get to identify it. But then, Sheila, you say that money principles are must know for individuals and businesses really looking to achieve financial wellness. What are some of these principles and how do you apply them in your financial wellness journey?
Thank you so much for such a very interesting question. We do have money principles, and these are rules that everyone needs to know and apply them. Remember, knowledge becomes powerful when we apply it. So the first principle is spending less than you earn. We are in a society whereby Just because you have access to certain things doesn't mean we need it. And how are you able to apply that? You're able to apply this principle by having a proper budget in place. Not every budget is proper. And that is why you find many people, they are able to have a budget on the first and second day of the month, but by seventh day of the month, they are like, this budget ain't working for me. It's because it's not customized for them. So the first principle is spend less than you earn, and this can be done through proper budgeting. The second principle is saving for your future, or having saving for a future spending. Um, Currently, a lot of people say you need to YOLO, which is very important, but you need to YOLO with a plan for the future. And how do you plan for your future? By creating or investing in tools that can allow you to maintain your current lifestyle even after you retire. Maintain your current lifestyle even when maybe you lose your job. So that is the second principle. And how do you incorporate that? You incorporate that by coming up with a proper saving plan that can that Financial Wellness Center can help you come up with one. Remember, not every saving plan can work with you, and that is why a lot of people say, I started saving, but within 3 months, I ate all my savings. It means you did not have a proper saving plan that could make you stick to it. Then the second principle is only borrow what you can afford. Now, having this digitization of the financial industry, we've seen a lot of credit lending institutions coming up. We've seen, like, right now, it's very easy for you to just borrow money using your phone. And this has led to many people borrowing money that they don't need. You find someone borrows money to buy pizza just because it's a buy one, get one. And this money the person borrows is going to end up with interest. So you only borrow what you can afford. And how do you get to borrow what you can afford? You have to have a proper debt management plan. A proper debt management plan is one that you sit down and see, do I really need to borrow this money, or there's another way I can get the same money without having to borrow? That is a debt management plan before you can actually borrow it. Again, we are in a society where people borrow just to finance their lifestyle for social media and all that. So learning this principle where you only borrow what you can afford, and this can only be achieved through learning to have a proper debt management plan, will help you attain financial wellness. And then the other one is growing your money. Earning money is one thing, and growing money is another thing. There is this saying that says, learn to multiply money before you spend. Now, we've seen a lot of people, they earn money, huge sums of money, but immediately that income stream is cut off. It could be a job. Maybe you encounter job loss. You cannot finance anything, even pay for your basic expenses. So growing your money is a money principle that everyone needs to learn. How do you apply that? You apply that through having an investment strategy. So you have money, but you need to multiply it either passively or actively through having an investment strategy. So an investment strategy is where you have like a plan on how you're going to invest, what you invest in, what returns you expect to have. Then the other money principle is boosting your earning capacity. Now that we've spoken how you need to manage your money, you need to borrow, how to manage your debt, we've spoken how you need to grow your money, it's also important for you to learn how to boost your earning capacity, because we've always been told you have to have more than one stream of income. But how do you do that? You do that by either improving your skill set or creating multiple income streams. It could be either directly or indirectly. That way you're boosting your earning capacity. And then the last principle is protecting what you have. Now, You have worked so hard, you fulfilled all these other principles, but what most people forget is protection. We need to protect what we have. One way you protect what you have is by having insurance. You just don't have to take life insurance. You also need to take insurance for your investment. You also need to take insurance for your savings. So it's important for you to learn the principle of protecting what you have by using tools like insurance or even an emergency fund, just to protect you when you lose your income stream.
Pretty much, Sheila. Now, I hope I've been taking notes myself and learning these things, which actually also points me to another direction as well this morning. I mean, everything that you got to talk about. I mean, as from 2020 onwards, the COVID-19 pandemic is going to be a reference point, and we know how it has swept businesses and jobs globally, with individuals and corporates worldwide being forced into unprecedented measures. Are we now forced to define financial wellness in relation to readiness for disasters? How do you start to prepare for this in your financial wellness journey?
We are not forced to relate financial wellness to disaster, because financial wellness incorporates the ability to be prepared to handle a disaster. How is this done? It's done through having an emergency fund. We have two levels of emergency fund. The first one is at an individual level, and the other one is at a business level. What is an emergency fund? An emergency fund is a fund that is able to cater for your expenses for at least 6 months to 1 year. So at an individual level, if you knew about financial wellness, let's say an year ago, trust me, you had already built an emergency fund that was going to cater for you for a whole year. So that is why you find there are people or businesses, this COVID, in as much as it has impacted the delivery of services, it has not impacted the expenses such as salaries or even their expenditure as a business or as an individual. So emergency fund is one thing that has always been there under the financial wellness umbrella, but it's only that most people didn't know about it.
Yes.
So, and another aspect is having an insurance. As a business, it's crucial for you to have an insurance just in case of any disaster like the COVID. This is not something we planned. Nobody knew 2 years ago there would be a pandemic that took so much long. But if you have an insurance, as a business person, your business is able to keep running without really having to put much pressure on you or on your employees.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Sheila, I mean, my next question would be like, what are the concepts of a good financial health? Fine, but just before we get that, because I think we've mentioned them as we've gone on with this conversation, is now, well, somebody this morning will be quite inspired to get into a financial wellness course, either with your institution or any other as well. So what are the characteristics of a good financial wellness training program? And for an individual and business, what am I looking forward to? That from where you're sitting this morning, you will say, if somebody takes you to this direction, then you, my friend, you're in the right program.
Thank you so much for such an amazing question. I will answer it to cut across both individual and businesses, because it's the same characteristics. So and I'd really encourage our viewers to take up financial wellness trainings, especially now and the future that we are heading to. It's going to really require you to be financially literate. So the first one, the first characteristic is that a good financial training program should be easily accessible and mobile friendly. This such a program will be able to provide easy and online access to the users so that they can manage their finances on the go. Gone are the days when we used to know that training has to be one-on-one. For now, it needs to be something you can access. If I'm traveling abroad, I need to access this program without having to go to an institution. If I am going in a remote place, I need to access it through my mobile phone, not just the laptop. So it needs to be easily accessible and mobile friendly, because we all have our mobiles with us, but we don't carry along our laptops every time. The next characteristic is it needs to be convenient. Convenience is very important, especially in our current era, because we have a lot of things happening in our lives. So a good training program should help its customers tackle their financial matters at their convenience, not just during specific working hours. It's not like a bank where you're told our working hours is maybe 9 to 5. A financial wellness program should be an all-round program that you are able to access it at any point in your schedule. Then the next one, it should be private and secure. Remember, we are talking about money. Finances is a very, very important and risky thing to talk about with anyone. So it needs to be private and secure. Let the customer or the client feel that the information I'm providing, I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and find it on all social media platforms. I'm not going to go somewhere and somebody is already talking to me about my finances, right? So it needs to be very private. And the other characteristic is it needs to give the clients independence. Before, we've seen a lot of programs that after the client has attended, the person does not become independent. They are always leaning on the institution. Please help me to do this. No, a good program needs to make you independent. You need to walk out of that program ready to face your finances and take over them. You don't need to be carrying someone around just to help you do things. But there is a level that reaches there, but a good one needs to help you be independent. And the last characteristic is that a good program like Financial Wellness Center, it needs to offer you a human touch and a measure for success. Now, we are in an era where we have a lot of robots. Even if you're trying to reach a customer care center, it's a robot that will talk to you for 15 minutes before a human being can even talk to you. And sometimes no human being talks to you. But a good financial program needs to allow you have that human touch, that if at some point I've gone through the notes, I've gone through the course, but I need to talk to someone to help me understand, then there has to be someone to guide you on that. And then it needs to have a measure of success. You don't need to be doing a program every 3 months and we can't track your success. We need to know you've taken our program for 3 months. What have you been able to achieve? What can you do now that when you came in, you are not able to do it? So we need to, the program needs to provide you with metrics that assess your actual results and also your behavioral changes, because handling money is more of a behavior than data. So you might find that someone's money habit is based on their behavior. So a good program needs to be able to measure that for you, just to encourage you and let you know what you're doing.
Proper insights. Sheila, we could go on forever, but I'm sorry I don't have that time, because I feel like I'm in class all of a sudden. That's how I know that I'm really feeding from you this morning. Just cleared like this morning. For anybody who wants to contact the Financial Wellness Center, how can they do that?
They can contact us through our email, which is info@financialwellnesscenter.co.ke. They can also reach us either via phone, WhatsApp, or messages through +254 702 091 970. And as well, they can reach us on our social media platforms. We do have a Facebook page under the name Financial Wellness Center, as well as an Instagram account that goes under the name Financial Wellness Center, as well as Twitter. You can find me also as Sheila Mboga.
Pretty much. Sheila, thank you very much for taking your time to speak to us this morning.
Thank you. so much. I'm really humbled, and I hope that our viewers have benefited from this program.
I hope they have. The guys who are nodding in the studio this morning. All right, thank you very much. We take a short break here on Business AM. Once we come back, we continue with the business for the day.
Sure, thank you.